Hello and welcome everybody to another StarCraft 2 cast by Glitch. Today, I'm going to be bringing to you some more games from LiquidHerO. Yesterday we looked at some of LiquidHerO's PvP stylings here in Heart of the Swarm. So today we're going to be checking out a little bit of his PvT style and what he's been doing in this matchup. Now, you may notice immediately that there is something very, very odd going on at this Nexus right now, and that is that he has warhounds mining as probes. That is because this game was actually played on April Fool's Day. For those of you that did not play on April Fool's Day, this past April Fool's Day, then Blizzard decided, as a prank, they told everybody that they were going to be giving every single one of the races warhounds, and inevitably ended up changing all of the workers into warhounds models. They're still exactly the same. They still do the exact same damage. Everything about them is exactly the same. They just look different. So they just kind of look weird and distracting, and so we're just going to have to deal with that today. So, let's introduce both of these players here. Spawning in the top left position as the blue Protoss, we have Team Liquid's Hero. His opponent today, spawning in the bottom right position, is this red Terran guy who's got a name in Korean. His name is in Korean, so if you desperately need to know, his name actually means CreationsMorning. CreationsMorning. I don't know, that's just the name this guy decided to go with. But he is a Grandmaster on the Korean server, so I guarantee you and I promise you he is a darned good StarCraft player. So we're going to have to see what kind of styles he's going to be going for. So far, we're just seeing him opening up with this first going into barracks. No gas going down at all yet for him, so he might be opening up into a command center, possibly something that we could be seeing, or we might see some gas come down here a little bit later than usual. In the base of LiquidHerO, we see a very standard opening here for Protoss as the gateway goes down, followed by the gas, and followed by the pylon. Very, very standard opening in this matchup at this point in time. But one thing that I've noticed is that lately there's been a lot of much later scouting going on in Heart of the Swarm. In general, we haven't been seeing players scout quite as early as they used to. These days, players are just kind of developing builds that are a little bit safer, that don't require them to have to scout so early. As we can see, neither of these players have scouted at all. If we check out the vision of our red Terran player, he sees absolutely nothing. And LiquidHerO is just now going out for his scout right now. So this is a very, very late scout, and so we're kind of seeing this a lot lately. I've been seeing this a lot, especially in the PvP matchups, as well as TVT and TVP. The matchups where they kind of have a little bit more things that they can do to just kind of sit back and play defensive and build up their econ. Whereas, you know, like with Zerg, you always have to be worried about very quick, sudden groups of units, and we do have one probe here coming up here for LiquidHerO. And of course, Zerg likewise has to worry about his opponent's matchups. It looks like Hero's actually having a little bit of fun here, poking around those Marines waiting to get attacked there. And there we go. Looks like he is finally going to be pulling back. But like I was saying before, Zerg has to worry a little bit more about aggressive scouting so that they can actually get out and know when they need to make units and when they can make workers. So as we can see, LiquidHerO is going to be applying a little bit of pressure here by chrono boosting out this first Zealot here. Going to be starting to poke in here with this probe and the Zealot. Maybe going to try to deal some damage here. He does see that that Nexus, that the command center is going down, and is starting to take a Nexus of his own. And in his base, we do see that the Cybernetics core has come down and is researching that Warp Gate research. So far here, everything absolutely standard, except for the fact that this probe is looking to put down a proxy pylon way out in front of this base here. We do see a Stalker has now come out as well. And the Zealot continuing to just patrol the front, going to be poking in here to see what is up at the top of this ramp, and there's nothing but a bunker going down here. Very, very normal here for Terran. And in the base of Terran, we can see a couple more racks being added on right now, as well as two gas going down so that he can start to get up some of that gas and start to get up some defenses here, because he did get up this early command center. Now we do see that there's a Stargate now coming down here for LiquidHerO, so it looks like he's going to be going for something early. What will it be? Could it possibly be an Oracle? Could it possibly be some early Phoenixes? Gonna have to see what LiquidHerO is planning to do with that. In the main base, we do now see that the Forge is coming down here for LiquidHerO as well. This Nexus is just about getting ready to complete. And again, having this unit patrolling at the front, this is absolutely critical. Absolutely critical for this build. If you're going to try to copy this build of Liquid Heroes, then you absolutely make sure that you do not forget this, because you need to know exactly when his opponent's army is moving out, so he can know when to spend his chrono boost on his gateways, try to chrono boost out more units. Because as you can see, we only have one gateway out here, so we really have to be careful with it. Now the Stargate is just now finishing up, and we do see that an Oracle is coming out here first, and it looks like our Red Terran opponent has prepared for this. He doesn't know that this has gone down. He did just scan his opponent, so he saw what was in the main, or did he see the natural? I think he might, yeah, he just scanned the main expansion to see what's going on in there. Didn't see anything unusual, but he is putting some Marines down here because I think he might be used to this kind of proxy Oracle play. We have seen this come up in some of the major tournaments here. Some Protoss players have been doing this a lot against not just Terran, but against other Protosses and sometimes against Zerg as well. Though against Zerg it's much more common to see the Phoenixes or the Void Ray coming out early. Now this Oracle is going to be moving up here into the main, but needs to be really, really careful there. There's a whole lot of Marines here to defend against exactly this kind of push. We do have another Oracle on the way as well. These Oracles build fairly quickly, 50-second build time for those. And in his main we do see a couple more gateways now being added on, bringing him up to a total of 3 gates, and he is researching this +1 armor upgrade. Second Oracle has now come out onto the field here, and these units for Terran are actually starting to move out there, and oh no, is he picking a bad time to move out, as these 2 Oracles are now out here on the field, and they're going to start to poke into this base here. There is an engineering bay up, and 1 turret in this mineral line, as well as in this mineral line. Looks like he's just trying to get around to that other side. He thinks that the Oracles are going to come around to try to hit this side, but no, as we can see, those Oracles are now going to move in, activate that pulsar beam, and they're going to start to deal lots of damage. For those of you that don't know about the Oracle, this is a new unit to Heart of the Swarm, which basically has a pulsar beam that you must activate. So it's a toggle. Once you turn it on, your Oracles start losing energy, but they develop the ability to attack and deal damage at a very, very, very high rate. And they can attack everything, so they can pop in, get a lot of worker kills. As we can see so far, not too many worker kills, only 2 workers killed here for Liquid Hero, but he hasn't lost these Oracles yet, so he hasn't traded anything for it, so it was a free 2 workers, so he's going to be pretty happy with that. In the base of Liquid Hero, we can see that the cannon has come down at the front. This is mostly to stop Widow Mines. A lot of early Widow Mine kinds of pushes can be very, very devastating to players, so this Photon Cannon gives you that detection. And also in the base of Liquid Hero, we see more gateways coming down, and looks like we do see a Twilight Council now coming down as well. These Oracles continuing to just poke in here and harass, trying to do some damage here, but now looks like our Red Terran player is doing a pretty good job of splitting up all of his forces all around the place. And now this Stargate has nothing else producing out of it. In the base of Liquid Hero, we do see that there are sentries and zealots going down right now, just starting to build up a core army here while he starts to build up his tech, just like his Twilight Council. Might see some blink coming down, or some charge possibly. And we see a robo facility now being started here for Liquid Hero as well, so he has the option to go into Colossi and Immortals as well. Now we do see a +1 armor upgrade now coming down here for our Red Terran player. +1 attack already has completed, so, and it looks like he's now just going to start taking down these destructible rocks, and it looks like he is now teched up to the starport, and he's going to be moving out here with this factory to scout. Oh, in the meantime, these Oracles moving and trying to get some damage done here, but needs to be super careful with those Oracles, as they do not take damage very well. First 2 medvacs popping out here, and I would almost bet that we are going to see these units be moving out here. This is a very, very common timing push here for Terrans. This is actually going to be very, very, very strong. 2 medevacs as soon as they come out. Look at this. Stim is complete. +1/+1 will be complete by the time he gets across to the other side of the map, or will be very close to completing anyway. And Combat Shield is just wrapping up as well. So he has a very, very well-timed push here coming out. This is something that you have to be prepared to deal with as Protoss quite often, as this 2 medevac push comes out, or some variation of this 2 medevac push comes out very, very often from Terran. It usually hits around the 10 to 12 minute mark, depending on how beefy this army is going to be. In this case, this army is going to be pretty beefy, as the Revelation does go down on all these units. See that little snowflake above? Means that Hero has full vision of these units right now. This is a new Oracle ability. And so it looks like he's going to be trying to poke up in here. These force fields need to be really, really good if he's going to be able to deal with this attack. These units are +1/+1 right now, and some force fields go down. Not the best force fields. It's best if some of the units come up here and then he just traps all the rest on the low ground. If he can cut that army in half, it's a lot stronger. But we do see a big round of Stalkers coming up here for LiquidHERO, as he's going to be able to, I think, push this back. Yeah, it looks like, oh, Sentry's taking some damage here, and that's definitely not good. A little bit of a miss micro there by LiquidHERO. Definitely want to be keeping those Sentries alive. Those are very high gas, high tech units that he's going to have to keep alive. But all these units are now just going to be picked up, and they're just going to rocket on back home. Now, in the base of LiquidHERO, the robotics bay has now come down, so we're now seeing Colossi being produced here for LiquidHERO. First Colossi now on the way. We are up to a total of 6 gates, and we do see more upgrades now coming down here for LiquidHERO out of this double forge. 2 forges, +2/+2 on the way. These oracles still alive, going to be poking in here once again to try to deal some damage. And there is a third command center down here for our Red Terran player, and also I should also note that LiquidHERO held off an attack. Anytime you hold off an attack, expand. Oh my god, it's so important that you expand anytime you do something to get an edge on your opponent. For example, anytime you attack and you deal damage, or your opponent attacks and you hold off that attack. I mean, a lot of people think, oh, I must counterattack right now, I must go back and I must try to deal some damage to my opponent. But try to fight that impulse. Try to fight that impulse. The more important thing is to try to get up econ, because once you take out their army or deal significant damage to their army, they don't have an army anymore. I mean, they can't build anything. There's nothing more that they can do. And oh no, it looks like those 2 oracles are going to get picked out. I thought he was actually going to get out of there, but no, it looks like he got trapped along this right edge of the map there, and one oracle does go down, and the other one just barely gets out with 17 hit points. Lots of barracks now going down here for our Terran player. Lots and lots of barracks, lots and lots of medevacs. So very standard style, popularized, very popular in Wings of Liberty. This was a style that was very popular there. And this is something that I mentioned before. On the Korean ladder, you see very slow changes. Players are very slow to adapt to new play styles. They like doing what they're confident with and what they know is really strong. So this is kind of what we're seeing there. Is this guy's a Grandmaster level Terran player, and his bio, his MMM is really strong. So he's just going to keep on doing that here in Heart of the Swarm here. It'll take a little while before that matchup will change at all. Now we do see that there's this pylon in the back here for LiquidHERO that he had placed quite a while ago. And with that, LiquidHERO is going to be able to see that he is now going to start to mine from this base, and might even warp in some units there to be able to stop him. So like I was saying before, when your opponent has no army, the best thing that you can do is get another base. Take another base, and that will allow you to start getting ahead in econ. Don't go for the win now, go for the guaranteed win later. Because your opponent, if you move out, will always have that defender's advantage. Now, some Blink Stalkers are now moving out onto the field here. LiquidHERO, famous for his Blink Stalker micro, going to be moving out here with the Blink Stalkers, leaving the bulk of his army back home, leaving all the Zealots, the Sentries, and the Colossi back home. The Blink Stalkers are moving forward here right now, and it looks like he's going to be able to pick off some Marines that were trying to pick off that Oracle, and now he's just going to be poking in here, trying to do as much damage as he can. And in the meantime, 2 Zealots being warped in from this Stargate pylon down here. Looks like he's going to try to draw his opponent's army out, and then as he draws that army out, oh, needs to be careful though. Doesn't want to lose those Stalkers. Those Stalkers are absolutely critical to his map control right now. And it looks like, no, these Zealots still not moving in. I'm surprised that these Zealots didn't move in right when that attack went down. But now we can see LiquidHERO has transitioned into these Colossi, which now that he has 3, he's now going to be moving out with those Colossi. In the meantime, this one Zealot is not going to be long for this world, as he is going to be going and discovered and taken down quite quickly. But now we can see that our Red Terran does know that these Colossi are out, so he has started his Viking production. He's gotten up to a good number of medevacs. He's up to 8 medevacs. This is a solid place. This is a good place to be as a Terran player. Once you get up to about 8 medevacs, that's a good medevac count. Too many more and it gets a little bit sketchy. And then your army, it starts to cut into your army value, and it also means that you're not going to be switching over to Vikings. You really want to start to switch over to Vikings once you see those Colossi going down. Now, Hero has done something interesting here, and he has hallucinated 2 Phoenixes here, which is going to be really useful here if he starts focusing down these hallucinated Colossi instead. Did I say hallucinated Phoenix? Hallucinated Colossi. Ooh, forces here going down. Force fields going down here. Very nicely done here by LiquidHERO. It's allowing him to pull back with all his Blink Stalkers and his Colossus and keep his Colossi nice and defended there. And those hallucinated Colossi are actually doing a fantastic job of tanking damage from those Vikings here, making sure that all these other units stay alive. But oh, it looks like Hero might have overstayed his welcome as all the units are now coming down here, and it looks like they're going to start to focus down those Colossi. And yes, all the Colossi are going to go down, even going to lose this Immortal. LiquidHerO only getting out with his Blink Stalkers. But keep in mind, LiquidHerO is keeping a step ahead of his opponent right now. Looks like he's going to be getting ready to take his 4th base. Why? Because he just went in, dealt some damage. He did a lot of damage to his opponent's army, so what's he going to do? He's going to come back, continue to build up another army, and throw down another Nexus, take another base, because he knows that he just denied a lot of mining here from his opponent. We can see he did also a lot of worker damage, as 26 workers have been killed here from LiquidHerO. Also, in terms of staying ahead of his opponent, he's staying ahead in tech. Notice he's transitioned into the Immortal production out of this robotics facility. I love this. This continues. A lot of players will just stop using their robotics facility when they stop making Colossi, but here, you can see Hero has transitioned into Templar archives, Templars with Storm. Storm has been researched, and it is ready. But in the meantime, he's keeping that one, excuse me, that one Robo facility busy by pumping out those Immortals. And oh, he needs to be careful here, as the forces of our Red Terran player are now starting to move out across the map. A lot of bio forces. Still Vikings in the composition here, but it looks like he has kind of stopped the Viking production now, as he's going to be now going into the Ghosts. This is a very, very smart move from our Terran player. I think he has identified that his opponent is going for this, but we do have a drop going in at the back of this 4th base. Big drop coming in here. Brilliant move by our Red Terran player, as nice time warp comes down from that Mothership core. As the units of Hero comes down, gets off a very, very nice storm, but this drop in the meantime dealing a lot of damage to that Nexus. I think he's actually going to force a cancel on that Nexus. Nice storms once again going down here for LiquidHerO. He continues to push in here, trying to deal as much damage as he can. These Immortals are actually doing a fantastic job of dishing out all the damage against the Marauders. And oh no, a lot of these medevacs are taking a lot of damage here. You do not want to be losing too much there. And oh, Hero does not get the cancel there, and it looks like he's just going to be able to pick up and lift on out of there. Scouting Factory does come in and manage to see the Templar as well as this 3rd base is mining. He's going to be able to see how much mining has been done here, going to be able to count the minerals there and know how long his opponent's been mining on that base. But Hero is going for the counterattack here, as it looks like he's going to be able to force a cancel on this 4th command center coming down here from our Red Terran player. But this is a lot of bio forces coming down here from our Red Terran player. Will he be able to hold against this? Looks like he's going to be blinking back here. High Templar are in the mix, but not that much energy for storms. One storm goes down here, but all of these units are now in the red and in the yellow as well here. Red, orange, and yellow. It is autumn. It is fall time in Terran land here, as these medevacs are running really, really, really low on energy. But a nice storm finally goes down here for LiquidHerO, and another storm goes down there. Beautiful storms, and now all of these units are so low, and these Immortals do huge amounts of damage. These Immortals are 3-3-1 in upgrades, doing 65 damage versus armored right now. That means they are two-shotting these Marauders with no healing. That is a ridiculous amount of damage going down from these Marauders. And it looks like SCV is now being pulled off the line here, as he's going to try to come in and force all these units back. But Hero blinking back, and this Archon going to be absolutely doing massive amounts of damage here. Now, I should note that there is also another drop going down here at this 4th base once again here for our Red Terran player, dealing some damage, but it looks like that is now going to be cleaned up here, as Hero just continues to press in at this 3rd base. Our Red Terran player going to continue to try to poke down here, try to defend against this attack as best as he can, but Hero doing such a fantastic job right now. If we check out the workers killed count, 50 workers killed right now for LiquidHerO, so all he wants to do is keep trading at this point. He's up a base on his opponent. He's managed to defend this attack, and he has 1 base above his opponent, right? So all he wants to do is continue to just trade units. Just continue to shove units down his opponent's throat and force trades, because he knows he has a better economy. His opponent doesn't have this base. His opponent doesn't have this base. So eventually his opponent is just going to mine out, right? His opponent will just eventually run out of resources and not be able to produce anymore. So LiquidHerO is definitely at this point just looking to trade as much as possible. Now, in the base of our Red Terran player, we do see the double starport is down, but this is not that useful at this point in time. It's allowing him to keep his medevac count up, but his medevac count is already doing okay, decent, and he's transitioning now into the Ghosts. So we do see some Ghosts now coming down here for our Red Terran player, and these are absolutely essential in being able to deal with both these Archons as well as these High Templar. EMPs can absolutely take out the shields of these Archons and take out the energy of those High Templars. So absolutely needs those, but his army count is just real small. Nice EMPs going down on those Archons, allowing him to just pick those off real quick. But now all the forces are coming out. Nice storm goes down here by LiquidHERO again, as it looks like these ghosts coming out right now, trying to pick off some of those Templar, but these Templars still manage to stay alive, and the ghosts all fall down, and there aren't a whole lot of units left here for our Terran buddy, as now Colossi being added back into the mix here for LiquidHERO as he once again tries to go in for another trade. More Psystorms going down all over this entire army, and the GG is called by our red Terran player. Absolutely fantastically played game here by LiquidHERO, constantly just staying one step ahead of his opponent. I hope you guys enjoyed that game. I'm going to be doing one more LiquidHERO game tomorrow, so be sure to tune in for that. We're going to be checking out how LiquidHERO is playing these days against those Zerg buddies tomorrow. So be sure to tune in for that. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Even follow me on twitch.tv at twitch.tv/GLiTCHStarCraft. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. Glitch out. Oh, yeah, and I can't forget the GG button. Thanks for watching, guys.